All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tony Vays, coming to you live this Tuesday, October 17. Just a few more days to go in the month of October. The markets are open. We're going to go take a look, see if there was one of these 10 a.m. reversals in the stock market, and of course, Bitcoin broke out overnight. Let's go and look. Let me, you know what, I'm going to pause that, save on bandwidth, and hopefully there's not going to be any big mic issues today, like last time. All right, here we go. Haven't looked at your live chat yet. All right, everything looks good. All right, let's do it. Let's go to screen share. We're going to start with Bitcoin. Okay, so we're going to review what happened yesterday and what I said yesterday. Oh, I can put that all the way over here. That's great. Perfect. I'm going to do that. I can see how many people are watching. All right, cool. And this can go there. All right, excellent. Oh, but it goes away. Sorry. Oh, but now, whoa, now is it stuck here? Why is okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to do that. All right, so let's look at the weekly chart. The way last week ended, and I said that at the end of last week, and I said it even yesterday, that the way last week's candle ended was very, very bullish. And I was bullish going into this week. The only thing that was keeping me, holding my horses back a little bit was yesterday's daily MRI top, which once it loads, there it is. So yesterday had an MRI top, and the top and yesterday's candle did not break the prior candle's high, which to me indicated that we're pulling back. And of course, going into today, I also expected the price to either be flat or pull back a little bit. But that's not what happened overnight. There was some news out of Asia that Singapore Bank is looking to get into Bitcoin. More news on just very bullish news everywhere. We'll probably do a news show sometime this week with Jimmy, and we'll try to get Leah as well. We'll do our best. So the bullish news happened, and the price of Bitcoin broke out, making a new swing high. And we still have half a day to go, but it's looking like we're going to have a brand new daily high close. That is a very, very bullish development. So there's two things that are going on here. Kind of sucks that it's happening immediately the day after an MRI top. And normally I would be buying into a break of an MRI top to the upside, but I never ever do that on the candle following the MRI top. I want to do it on tomorrow's candle, not today's candle. So for my style of trading, this creates a little bit of a dilemma, also considering how bullish I am fundamentally on Bitcoin. Fundamentally, news-wise, I mean, I'm bullish across the board. So I personally am still long Bitcoin, especially in my retirement funds. And I'm not ready to sell yet, but if we push to 14,000, I will consider taking some of that profit, even though it's not going to happen in line with the MRI. I am now anticipating the 14K to come sooner than later. And I've always anticipated a pullback from 14K. It also goes back to what I said weeks ago. And it was on a podcast, I think it was on a podcast with Phil, where I specifically explained how I'm not going to be chasing and buying Bitcoin at 14,000. At 14,000, I'm expecting a pullback. Yesterday, I also discussed my concern that if we fall to the vicinity of 10,000, it puts me in a very bad predicament as to, do I think we're going lower or will we bounce off of 10,000? In a perfect world, we do get to 14,000. Hell, soon. Hell, I would even love it if we broke 14,000 to say go to 14.5, and then a pullback from 14.5, only going down to say 11.5 or 12 would be a substantial enough pullback on a Bitcoin price level, because Bitcoin likes to pull back this 20-30%. Let's say we get to 14.5. And from there, we go down to say 12 or 11.5. As you can see, that's a 20% drop. That would be awesome, because that would solve so many problems. It would create a more reasonable, slow and steady rise of Bitcoin. It would create a substantial pullback while making a higher low, and it would not endanger this $10,000 double bottom scenario, which has a probability of sending us lower. So in a way, that is the perfect place for Bitcoin to top. So in a way, that would be the absolute perfect place where Bitcoin could top. Ideally, I would want that top to be in line with a daily MRI, which means we got about 8 more days to go, not counting today. That would be perfect. It would be early November. It would be around the election day. And if Bitcoin can fly, but it can't go up this quickly. I mean, Bitcoin went up, what, about $300 today? Yeah, we're up almost 400 on the day. So if it's going up 400 a day, we'll be at 1450 in 3 days, not 8 days. That's a big difference. So the indicators aren't lining up perfectly right now, but I am bullish. But multiple things are keeping me from FOMOing right now. Like I said, one is the fact that it's a candle following the MRI top candle, and I never ever buy on this candle. I would sell on this candle if we were crashing, or I would short on this candle if we were crashing, but I never buy on the candle that extends the MRI. I would rather buy on the following candle unless it's running away from me, and then I would just wait. Now, that strategy can get me into trouble. For example, right here, here's an example of that green star on the candle that followed the MRI top. And this is a normal buy opportunity based on my trading. And this certainly would have led me to a losing trade. Now, a couple of things would have cautioned me, one of them being this moving average serving as resistance. And the triangle wasn't there yet, so the triangle doesn't matter. However, this green star here is a beautiful breakout, and so is this green star. So, but however, this green star, I wouldn't have rushed in because it's not that much above the MRI top. I would have wanted it a little bit higher, but even if I would have went in, you hold on to that trade a little bit, and then it goes up. So I just don't like to buy the candle following. All right, I think I explained that one enough. Back to the weekly chart. The week starts off very nicely, and I am super bullish based on weekly timescales. We'll do a live chat in a minute, guys. This is the 1 hour chart. I should probably look at the 4 hour chart first. Let's do that. Let's go to the 4 hour chart, see if anything interesting happened. Oh, I want to look at the funding rate. Is the funding rate finally starting to favor the bears? It's not. The funding rate still favors the bulls. Wow, it's amazing. Everything favors the bulls right now. Absolutely everything. We're probably going higher. Here's the 4 hour chart. The 4 hour chart had a top. Oh, when was this? Oh, that was 25th. I'm assuming I saw that yesterday. So we got a star. So we have a little bit of conflicting evidence here based on MRI. We have one part of the MRI telling us that we could have topped right here on a 4 hour chart. We have another piece of evidence from the MRI telling us that we're starting a new bullish trend. Both things can be true. We can just hold up here for a few candles and then push higher. I am still bullish here. I mean, look, we have just made a new 4 hour high close. Why would I not be bullish? I'm always bullish at new swing highs. I am cautious, however, when we are approaching a double top, which this would be, and that was a top we made over a year ago, close to a year and a half now, back in June of 2019, and we're already going into November. This is the weekly scale. So at this double top, I am expecting a bit of a pullback. But once again, in a perfect world, this would happen 4 weeks from now, not now, in line with the MRI top. So things are conflicting a little tiny bit. Bitcoin dominance is starting to rise again, and it's starting to come back to where we were at the start of the year, which is still disappointing. And I can talk about that. I'm sure GBTC premium is skyrocketing. No, not really. It's only at 17, still reasonable. But now the price of GBTC is getting high and a little bit overextended here. Curious how gold's doing. Okay, I'm no longer curious. It's not doing anything, so let's move on. S&P is holding up okay. Here's the daily chart. Yesterday was the big volatility candle. No volatility today. Kind of flat on the futures. Let's look at the cash market. Actually, I will look at the 10 a.m. I want to see if there was a 10 a.m. reversal. And when was this candle? 10:20. A little late. So this candle was 10 a.m. So there was a 10 a.m. reversal, but it wasn't that big. I like these to be at least 10 points. Let me see if this was 10 points. And I'm not going to cherry pick the high. That would be unfair. Oh yeah, look at that, 13 points. That's good. That's a 10 a.m. trade. Perfect. Right there. That is your 10 a.m. candle. The following candle starts to fall. Top comes on the 10 a.m. candle. Classic. Didn't last very long. Went back down, then reversed again. So profitable trade, not very profitable trade, but a profitable trade. Let's go back to the daily. And the weekly, we gotta give it time. We gotta go through the election. Not much is really gonna happen. Okay, let's look at your questions for a little bit. Oh, at the top of the hour, I'll be on with Forklog. So if you speak Russian, head on over to Forklog. Hi, Tone. How much of your holdings would you suggest to sell? No, I can't suggest anything. Buy back. Well, I don't know if it's gonna pull back at all. So it's really up to you. I mean, I can't give you guys trading advice. I mean, I have a GBTC trade. And how much am I gonna take at 14? Well, it depends. Probably it depends how we get there. It depends how fast we get there. If we get to 1450, 14.5, if we get there with an MRI top on the daily, I'll probably take 50% of my position and either buy back at a higher price or try to wait for a pullback. There's always a pullback. The question is, where's the top? What, in your opinion, would drive the price to 20,000 this time? Last time was a retail bubble. Well, we're moving there. We're moving to 20,000. Just the acceptance of Bitcoin by the traditional financial institutions. Not Bitcoin doesn't need them, but there are two things happen when traditional financial institutions get involved in Bitcoin. One thing is they are buying or they are advising their clients to be buying. So as traditional financial institutions, the fiat banking institutions get more involved in Bitcoin, that means that more people are buying. I mean, the people at these institutions that are doing these reports, the people at these institutions that are pushing for their banks to be involved in Bitcoin, those people, they're probably buying on their own too. I mean, otherwise, why would they do that? So institutions themselves are going to start to buy it on behalf of clients. So that creates a natural demand and natural buying pressure to buy Bitcoin. But I guess the bigger issue here is as more and more traditional financial institutions get involved in Bitcoin, they will lobby the governments for more favorable regulation because they need to be involved in Bitcoin. So it becomes harder for government to declare Bitcoin illegal and it's only money that finances terrorism or whatever. Bitcoin is only for Silk Road. So it becomes hard for the government to make the argument to criminalize the usage of Bitcoin if their financial institutions are involved in Bitcoin. So those are the two dynamics, and both of those dynamics are very positive for the price of Bitcoin. So yeah, that's what's mainly pushing it. Not to mention we had a halving, so a lot less new Bitcoin being created. All right, let's see what else you got. Tone, do you still follow the moon phases? No, I don't. I really don't. Tone, can you explain how the previous stop at 14,000 is different than this upcoming move to 14,000? Oh, it's very different. It is night and day. Between the last top of 14,000 is night and day. So here is the Tone Vays narcissistic answer to the biggest difference between the last move to 14,000 and the current move to 14,000. I wasn't bullish at the last move to 14,000. I'm bullish now. So that's all you really need to know. That's the biggest difference is Tone's opinion of where price is going over the following year after this 14,000 hit. So the last time we were going to 14,000, look, I was bullish on this breakout, but right here, I took my profit a little early, but then right here I became bullish again. But right here back in May when we hit like 8,000, I became very bearish, and I had every reason to become very bearish. If you look, we had a reversal candle, a reversal weekly candle, the week of May 27th. We had a second consecutive MRI top the following week. That was, I guess, the first week of June. And we fell pretty damn hard off of the rejection at the resistance line. Not to mention we went up too far too fast. And right here, I expected us to go down. Now, when that didn't happen and we went higher, I was completely caught off guard. And this is a 3-week move. This is a huge 3-week move. For $6,000. That's insane. And this is basically a recreation of the ending of the last bubble to 20,000. It was just unsustainable. Now, what else? You should go back and watch my videos from here with like ugly and stuff, where we talked about it. Now, right here, if you look at the funding rate, oh, I don't have it. I have to look at the daily chart. Sorry, hold on. Let me go to the daily chart. If you look at the funding rate, and I'm going to blow up the funding rate. I got to get that one funding rate that's across all exchanges. Now we take this back into June of last year. Look at this. Look at this insanity. Here is the funding rate. This is the May one. This is the June one. This is it. When the top was made, when the top was being made, look at this funding rate. Look how people were bullish. It was insane. And right now, look at that. So this, anytime you go up higher, you favor the bears. Anytime you go down lower, you favor the bulls because it's just a one-sided market. Eventually, there's nobody left to buy at these ridiculously high prices. Just like eventually, there's nobody left to sell at these ridiculously low prices. And the market has open air in the opposite direction. So there are so many differences between these two markets. And let's do this. Perfect. Okay. And now I just have to do that. I can move it around. Okay. We went up way too far and way too fast. Here, we're technically still going up slow and steady. Slow and steady. We're having our pullbacks. just a few months ago, we had a pullback of almost 20%. 20% top to bottom, if you use the height of the candle. That's a 20% pullback. And as long as we're getting these 20% pullbacks, we're just fine. And that's why I want to see us go to 14.5 and then pull back to 11.5, because that is a 20% pullback. Anytime you can get a 20% pullback on the way up, it creates another step to go higher and make a new high. That didn't happen here. At no point did we get a 20% pullback. I don't even think we got a 10% pullback. This is the only one that might have come close to a 10% pullback, maybe 15. 15 right there. 15, but this 15 came like really, really late. Like this 15 came where we needed a 30 because we went up so much. If we had a 20% pullback here, if this was a 20% pullback, well, that's a 27, so that's too far. So if we had our, 20% pullback here, and then we would have topped out earlier and had another 20% pullback here, we could have gotten to 14K in a much more sustainable way. And we could have been a lot higher today. But these are the main differences. Like it's really night and day between the last time we were at 14 and this time we're at 14. All right, let's see what else you guys have. You got maybe 10 more minutes. Stocks, what? SAP stock dropped 21% yesterday. I don't even know what SAP is. What's SAP? It could have had earnings. We're going into earnings season. It did have earnings, so it doesn't, there's nothing I can comment on. It's earnings. Look, it's an MRI bottom right now. That's a big earnings fall. I don't even know what this company does. Would I buy today? Probably not. Would I be bullish on it if it, broke? It's at 100. I mean, if it broke 102.50, I'd be a little more bullish. I'd need it to go a little bit higher. But, the stock just fell 20% for a reason, bad earnings. It's possible it can start to close the gap, but I don't really have much of an opinion here. Berry. What's Berry? I'm bearish. Look, we broke the support line. We got the red star. The weekly is going bearish. I'm bearish. It's a third consecutive lower high. We're at a double bottom. It looks like the bottom is ready to drop out. Look, you had a weekly top right here. This is a bit of a conflict. You have a weekly top with a daily buy. That's rare. But here you have a daily top knowing that in a week or two, you're going to have a weekly top. So, and that was the ultimate high for the year, unless it was higher pre-COVID. It was not. See, lots of things here telling you to sell. Look, there's like 4 red arrows there. And this is telling you you're going to go up on a daily, but the weekly is telling you you're going to go down. So I'm very bearish this stock. I would not want to be holding this. It's about to break. It's this is that double bottom. This is if Bitcoin goes back to 10,000, this creates this giant inverse cup and handle kind of situation, even though the handle is a little too big. I'm bearish here. I think this thing can go down to about 40. But earnings is coming. But that's late November. So whatever this is, I'm bearish. Look at that. I had a weekly buy right there at the low, but that was also COVID low. So it's a lot of weekly buys there on MRI. Okay, another question. When do you think you will be releasing the volume indicator? Oh boy. I got to work on that. I got to work on that. These things aren't like exactly free to do. and I'm not making any money these days. All right, one last look at Bitcoin. Daily chart. Still pushing higher. I'm not buying right here. I'm happy that I'm long, but I'm not FOMOing. Go back to my videos from last week where I specifically said that if we quickly move to that $14,000 area, that is not, for me, the time to go in, no matter how bullish the news are. However, all the metrics, like especially the funding rate, are telling you it's going higher, which is insane. Normally, I would never touch this on a long trade, but I'm kind of 50-50. We're just getting a little overextended here versus the moving averages. I've been clear. I've been bullish for a while. The time to buy was the breakout of this area here. You had a couple of green stars. The breakout from consolidation was the time to get in. Now, it's time to take some of that profit if you got in. And if you never got in, I'd be patient. I'd be patient. Well, if you have no Bitcoin, the time to buy was probably yesterday. It's always yesterday. All right, guys, if you want to support, please check out tonevays.com. I have some on-demand videos. We have some affiliate codes, and we have a free Learn Trading section. All right, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. And shoot over to Forklog, but it's not going to be in English. Bye, guys.